Ollie was a 10-year-old boy living with his family in an old apartment building. One evening, as rain pounded against the windows, Ollie lay in bed. Thunder roared outside, but something else caught his attention, a faint whisper coming from the wall. At first, he thought it was just the wind, but the whispers kept repeating the same word. Come here. Despite his fear, Ollie's curiosity got the better of him. Grabbing his flashlight, he got out of bed and pressed his ear to the wall. There was a tiny crack, and through it, he felt a cold draft. Suddenly, the whisper grew louder. "Save me." Unable to resist, Ollie tiptoed into the living room with his flashlight. His parents were asleep, but something was pulling him toward the front door. Without even putting on his shoes, he stepped into the apartment hallway. The corridor lights flickered, and the elevator doors stood slightly ajar. Summoning his courage, Ollie entered the elevator and looked at the buttons. Instead of the usual floor numbers, there was a single, strange button labelled -1. It must have been the basement, but Ollie had never seen that button before. His curiosity outweighed his fear, and he pressed it. The elevator began its slow descent. When the doors opened, Ollie found himself standing in what appeared to be the abandoned corridor of an old hospital. A freezing draft brushed against his face, and rusty handprints stained the walls. As he walked down the corridor, he heard the faint sound of a baby crying. The cries grew louder and morphed into a high-pitched, eerie laugh. At the end of the hallway stood a large, heavy door. The words "Operation Room" were written above it in faded red letters. Trembling, Ollie stepped inside. In the centre of the room was a rusty operating table, and on it lay a bloody, tattered blanket. Suddenly, the blanket moved, and a pale, clawed hand emerged from underneath it. The creature beneath it sat up, a horrifying figure with elongated limbs, sharp nails, and hollow eye sockets. Its mouth opened, and whispers poured out. "You came, now you're mine." Ollie screamed and turned to run, but the hospital corridors had changed. There was no way back. Behind him, he heard the screech of metal dragging against the floor. The creature was following him. Just as he tripped and fell, a hand grabbed his shoulder. Ollie opened his eyes to see the apartment janitor, Mr. Osmond, standing over him. "What are you doing here?" "Kid, you fell asleep in the basement," he said. But Ollie couldn't stop shaking. He looked at his hands and clothes, and there it was, a rusty handprint, just like the ones on the walls of the hospital.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. I'm from Life. See you next time.